Hey everyone, this is Danielle, also known as Gently Smiling Jaws, and welcome to my Flosstube. This is Flosstube, let me check my notes here, number 21. And to start off here, let's see, what did I want to start with today? Well, I guess first is that we'll see how it goes going forward, but for now I've sort of switch the day that I'm filming my floss tubes on for the next few months because, as I mentioned before, have a sort of change in my work schedule in the summer, which means I get Fridays off. So instead of filming in the middle of the week, I am now filming this on a Friday. But depending on what I have going on, I may end up switching my filming day around again. But it does mean that for the next few months I do have a bit more time on my hands, which is very helpful for a lot of things, not for just stitching. And what I wanted to start off with is I wanted to show a print that I purchased recently. There may be some glare on it from I haven't taken it out of the cover there, but it is a print of a colored pencil drawing of certain bricks that you can play with. I'm sure you know the brand. But this was done by a friend of mine, and I will link her Etsy in the description below. And I just really like the colors in this, and when I had first seen her do this art and found out she was going to be doing prints, I knew I wanted to get a print, and very glad I got one. I think I know how I would ideally like to frame it, but I am not ready to splurge on the frame that I really want right now. So I have found a cheaper option, which I will frame this in and then possibly upgrade later. But I think I want to, the appropriate reason for me to be showing this is because this friend is the one who got me into cross stitching many years ago. She gave me a dimensions kit, which I hung on to for a very long time. I kept it, but I had not opened it for some reason. I was sort of intimidated by cross stitch. I thought it would be too hard. I didn't know anything about it. But I had always meant to do it one day, and I think this year will be 2 years. So about 2 years ago, I finally opened up that kit, and that was the very first piece of cross stitch that I worked on. So yeah, so I'll have the links to her info below if you want to check out her work. And the thing, I don't have tea today. What I have with me today is just regular old carbonated water, and that's because I was given as a birthday gift. It's not the Soda Stream. It's the, I think, Drink Mate thing where you can carbonate your own beverages at home. And right now I've just been doing regular water. I do want to try things out and see what tea would be like. I'm a little skeptical of what it might be like, but I think it would be fun to play around with and see. So that's sort of on my list to try things out with, just to see what it's like. I don't imagine that would be my go-to way of drinking tea at all, but it's kind of fun to change things up and see what it's like. So on to cross stitching. So in the past 2 weeks here since my last video, I stitched 3,349 stitches, which is less than my last video. I had done 4,117 stitches. So it's certainly less, but not all that much less. But the other thing is that the stitching that I did was the last week I sort of put in a lot of time doing a lot of stitches, and then just this past week I sort of lost my stitchy bug for a minute there, and really did not. So this is Friday. I have not stitched on anything Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I did stitch some things this morning because there was some stuff I wanted to get done before I filmed this video. But I only have 3 projects to show, but 2 of them are new starts. So we will get to that here. Let me move this here. First up is this is a new start. This is the Roladex Mourning sampler by Michelle from Bendy Stitchy. And this was a brand new start, and I have put in 2,214 stitches since then. So I put in a lot of time on this. The part that I'm really looking forward to stitching is all the leaves on the willow. So I've got, you know, the tree, the rest of the tree done, and want to focus on doing everything else. I think I'm going to save those leaves for the end. And I'm sure I will have put up here a picture of what, you know, the finished thing will look like. This is something I have been meaning to start for months and months. This is the one I was trying to decide on the fabric on, and I kept changing my mind and trying to decide what I wanted, and eventually I decided that the Lapin Loops 40 count Graveyard Mist is what I went with. I decided it's just time to go, stop dithering over the fabric, just pick something and start stitching it, and that's what I did. I believe I am using... I think I'm using almost all the called for colors. I think the pattern that I have, there were sort of 2 different things, and I think there were some slightly different flosses on each page. There was something where I was seeing there was sort of like multiple colors called out for stuff, and so I think that this color here is not... I think it was something Highlands was what was called for on one thing, but then the color listed on something else might have been what this one was, and so I don't know, I was through, so it's may be all the colors, but I'm not sure the specifics, and I don't have my notes on that in front of me, unfortunately. But I was very happy to finally start on this, and because I finally started in on it, that's why I wanted to go and make some considerable progress. Let me bring this up here. And because of when I'm filming, I now have some natural light coming in from the window, which I hope makes the lighting issue a bit better for this video. So yeah, and oh, let me see. I put down the number of stitches, but I did not write down the percentage on this. But I should have that info in my notes here. So where I am at... I'm just a 25.01%. So I have... just made it over a quarter of the way through. So that was my first start and whip that I had worked on. Next up is my other new start. This was the my birthday start at the end of May, and I don't have a ton going, but this is what I had been kind of planning to do for my birthday start. This is the Carolyn Manning birthday cake, which seemed appropriate. I will bring this closer so you can see. And this is 849 stitches. I was kind of hoping that before this video I would get these various points, and so I'd have a nice little diamond, but I just didn't get to that. But like the other Carolyn Manning that I've been working on, this is nice to do stitching that's, while not completely mindless, it is more on the mindless end of things, because you don't have to check the pattern as often. You figure out, okay, where's the block that I'm working on, and you can just do that chunk and then check the pattern again and go on to the next chunk. So that's what I have done so far. I'm looking forward to getting a little further out and getting to some of the other colors, like adding in the various, greens that are in there, because this, I think it's a very pretty pattern. It's not colors that I'm normally drawn to as far as stitching, but I liked it and wanted to do it. And now that we're really in, it looks very kind of Eastery and with those colors there. So I'm looking to kind of get all of the colors that are in the pattern on there. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this when I'm done, because this isn't necessarily something with this color scheme that I'm looking to kind of frame and put up on my wall. I don't know, maybe a project bag. I know people, will put stuff in, create project bags out of stuff. I don't know how to make them myself. Maybe I could learn. But on the other hand, with how many stitches go into this, which is, it's like over 35,000 stitches. In fact, looking at my notes here, it's actually even a little, not much, but a little bit more than No Time Like the Present. And with that many stitches on something, I guess, would I want it to be a project bag with that many stitches in it? Does it matter? I don't know. So this is something just like the other Chameleon one that I had already started. That one is smaller. I don't remember off the top of my head how many stitches are in it. I know it's smaller than this one. But yeah, this is something that I want to do. I want to finish it. I'm just not quite sure what I'm going to do with it once I'm done. So I don't know. That's where I'm at. Small little start there. Well, and next is No Time Like the Present, the Modern Folk Embroidery Sal for this year, which I am quite behind on, but my goal has been I need to work on it, so that each video I have done more work. Normally I like to work on this sort of earlier on, right after I do my video, so I've got it sort of done and out of the way, because not that it's horrible to stitch on, but because I want to keep it moving along. It is one of those things where I don't want it to feel this way, but in some ways it sort of feels like a chore, but I also want to keep myself moving on it. And I had not worked on this, and I had to work on it before I filmed this video. So this morning I sat down and I did get in 286 stitches, and that was adding more in up in this area here. Obviously I've got a chunk to do up here. Need to move it on the hoop and work on this and bring it down, and I am nowhere near where I should be right now. But still, I have done my 286 stitches, which means I have a total of 8,622 stitches in this, and I am at 24.22%, so not quite a quarter of the way through. And maybe if I do more stitching today after I film the video, although I do want to edit this, so I don't know. If I do more stitching today, I will try and put more stitches in on this so that I can have more done and then kind of move on to some other projects. So I said not many whips to show this week, although I did get a decent amount of stitching in. Let's see here, as far as plans. So what I am planning to work on is, one of the things I want to do, and I was, again, now that I did a bunch of starts in May, I want to not do quite as many, but I do want to do another, kind of either Palestinian or to trees, themed piece, and I've been trying to decide what I wanted to do. One of the things I was considering was the pattern that Jacob of Modern Folk Embroidery had released for free, and so that's sort of been one that I've been considering. I hadn't fully decided. I did see that Miriam from Marroomy Designs did start that one, and So I may do that. The one thing that I want to do is because the other pieces that I have stitched, and I'll find some pictures and stick them up in this video so you can see the ones that I've done so far. I've used the same flosses on both of those, and because I still have those left, I would want to use those colors on what I do next as well. And I have to look back and see how many colors are in the pattern that Jacob did, and if I do that one, I don't remember how many colors are in there, but I may modify some stuff, and if I go that route and kind of make it, fit in with the others that I have done so far. And as long as I'm on that topic, I will have, just like last week, I'll put down in the description box two things. I know last time I talked about, this necklace that I got where the it's our Arcana Obscura, the creator or seller of this is some of the profits go towards some mutual aid stuff over in Palestine, and I'll again put that info in the description box. And then I also wanted to give my eSIM update. So I had recorded my last video before all of the more recent stuff happened in Rafa, and because of that, I went in my eSIM that I had previously had expired. I bought a new one which had been activated, and it had just had a little bit of data move on it, and a little bit more data moved, and then there's nothing since, which of course has me worried. But because of everything going on there, the folks organizing the eSIM donation thing had mentioned that they were really low, they needed more. So I purchased 2 more, and I'm waiting for those to be activated, and it can take time for them to be activated. They have posts on the Instagram feed and stuff explaining the reasons why it can take a long time, and typically they ask you to wait a certain length of time. If it still hasn't been activated, then you can resend your email with the eSIM info to them, and they can potentially pass it along to somebody else. But yeah, there's reasons why it can take time, so you just have to be patient and wait. And so yeah, those ones have not been activated yet. However, since I bought those, and I don't know if I can add in another one right now, but they had specifically mentioned that a lot of students over there, that this is, they've been taking online classes in obviously horrific conditions, and this is the time where it's close to finals, so they have a lot of students that are requesting eSIMs, particularly eSIMs that the people who are donating are willing to keep topped up, so that the students will continue to have the access that they need to all their courses and be able to complete their finals. So if you're looking to donate an eSIM and that's something that you're able to do, I'll find the information and link it down below, because they said if you send them an eSIM, to put something in the subject line that mentions it's specifically for a student, and that you're willing to keep topping up the eSIM. And one thing that I'll mention is obviously the eSIMs cost different amounts depending on how much data you have on them. The only company I've gone through is Nomad, so I don't know how it works with the other ones that they accept. But sometimes on some of the eSIMs that I've done, when they first get connected, they use a lot of data at once. And so if you're someone who's wants to keep a student topped up, it may be worthwhile to, get a 10 gigabyte one to start with, which it's a larger amount of money, and if for some reason the activation doesn't quite work, or gets activated and stopped working, I understand that can be frustrating, that you've spent money on something which then doesn't get used, or only gets partially used. But I would say with that, the bigger amount of data that's on there, the more time you have to keep checking on it and topping it up, before the data goes away, because sometimes if you have a smaller one and it gets activated and somebody burns through a bunch of data and you aren't checking multiple times, you know, throughout the day once it's activated, that eSIM could have burned through everything and you won't have a chance to top it up. So that's just something to keep in mind if that's, you know, something you want to pursue. So on to other stitching. The other things that I definitely want to get back to stitching in these next 2 weeks is get more stitches in on Mellow the Phoenix, because I didn't touch it over these past 2 weeks, but I really like that combination of the floss and the fabric, and I just want to keep moving along on that. So that's definitely something that I want to do. And then the other one I want to make sure that I get to is the Freedom Motif Sampler from Shaded Stitchery, and that's the one where I had just gotten that motif that's near the center done, but especially as we're getting closer to Juneteenth, I want to make sure that I get more time in on that. And in fact, this morning, I haven't taken a closer look yet. I just kind of saw briefly on my phone. I haven't had a chance to really look at the pattern yet, but Shaded Stitchery released a new pattern, I think, for Juneteenth this year, and I said I have to go look at it more, but from first glance it had looked like, you know, like all the patterns from there, very beautiful, and there's a lot of colors. I like the colors that are in a lot of the patterns that are put out, just like in the Freedom Motif Sampler. I was really drawn to the blues used in the water, and that's one of the things I want to work on. So let me have a break for some water here. Okay, so as far as stitching goes, that's pretty much all that I have this week. One other thing I wanted to touch on briefly is as far as other crafts I may be showing on here. No crochet right now, because I haven't gotten back into, you know, stitching on that, and particularly as with this time of year, in fact, even as I'm sitting here today, I'm noticing that it's warmer than it has been recently, and working on a crochet blanket as the weather gets warmer is not necessarily what I'm looking most forward to. So I may not be touching that for a bit unless my mom gets sort of back into doing it, and then I work on stuff as I am helping her out. But the other thing that I may do, I haven't done it for a while, is I have done in the past some hand spinning, and I have fiber on hand and drop spindles. I haven't done it enough to justify the amount of money and space required for an actual spinning wheel or for an e-spinner, which is much smaller, but also more expensive. So drop spindles are, you know, if I do spinning, that's what I am looking at using, and I have a number on hand. And I haven't done any spinning for quite a while, but like I said, I have fiber around, and I was just thinking about it recently. I'm subscribed to a couple spinning magazines, Spin Off and Ply, so even though I haven't been you know, doing any of it recently, I still have my magazine subscriptions, and I had gotten issues of both, you know, pretty recently, and as I was kind of looking through there, I was like, maybe I want to pull this stuff out and give that a try again. And I'll have to figure out what I want to do. I have some of the stuff that I've spun, I have done some small little tapestries with it, because like I mentioned in the past, I have taken some online tapestry weaving classes, and you know, tapestry stuff is something that I haven't done in a while either, but I have done some, you know, small pieces with hand spun stuff. And the other thing that with hand spinning is not something that I have done a lot, but I think one of the things that I did early on, just like some simple scarf or something, where I had gone and in my spinning, and again, it's been a while, and I'm also, you know, not super experienced in doing it, but I know there's the differences between you're doing the S twist or the Z twist, and I forget which one is the way that commercial yarns are normally done. But when you're crocheting, with commercial yarn, sometimes the motion of crocheting yarn can get kind of splitty because of the way the twist is and the way you're doing stuff when you're crocheting. So if you spin and make yarn that has twist the other direction, it can be nicer to crochet with. And like I said, I think there was some, small little scarf that I had done with some of my early hand spun stuff. And so maybe I will figure out, I'll have to look through what fiber I have on hand, decide if there's something that I want to try to make with the resulting yarn, whether that's actually something I want to crochet, or if I want to try and do like some, small tapestry. Again, that may be a bit ambitious, but yeah, maybe just kind of focusing on, what fiber I want to use. And I suppose if I do it with the twist that works better for crochet, then if I end up, I'm just looking because my camera is blinking things at me and I don't know what exactly it's doing, so I hope it's filming okay. Well, now I know what that blinking was on my camera. That was telling me that the memory card was just about full. So I went through and deleted stuff that I had already transferred off my camera to free up some space. So that's what that was about. So I need to be more diligent in emptying out my memory card. But what was I saying? I was talking about doing spinning, and maybe that's something that I'll do on the horizon. I don't know that I'm going to start doing that before my next video, but maybe sometime in the coming weeks I will give that a go, because like I said, I've got fiber on hand already from when I was doing more of it. I'm sort of, kind of just like when you're, the acquisition of craft supplies being different from actually doing the craft itself. I'm stocked up on fiber, so now I get to go shopping in my own stash for when I am ready to do that. So something that I can look forward to trying out, playing around with, even if I'm not doing it to, and if I don't seriously plan out a project. Sometimes just the going and doing the process is, a little bit, kind of meditative as you get the spindle going and get your rhythm going. Although I'm sure, because I haven't done it in quite some time, I will be dropping the spindle a lot and have to kind of relearn some of the things, but we'll see. So said, certainly not as long of a video as some of my more recent ones have been, but maybe in the next 2 weeks I will get kind of more projects rotated through and have a few more things to show. And maybe I will also have some more experiments with trying to carbonate tea and see whether that works. It's like I said, I've just been doing water so far, and I'm supposed to be getting some like little flavoring stuff to put in there, not just kind of flavor essence stuff, not a syrup with sugar or anything like that, where you can just add in some flavoring to the plain water, and then of course just playing around and figuring out what you want to carbonate. So all right, so I guess that is it for this video, and I'm going to see if I can get this edited yesterday. Oh, the other thing that I had been noticing with my videos, because I record with a separate mic, and so I have to go and sync my audio up with the video for my videos. And it had happened to me, I've been running into this issue with kind of all the floss tubes I've done to some degree, as well as I had also had the issue like years ago when I was recording some video stuff, where even if I would do everything I could to sync up the audio in the video at the beginning, as the video went on, there would be more drift and the audio would get out of sync, and I wasn't sure what was going on with it. So I finally, during the last week, because when I was editing my last floss tube, I ran into some problems, and I finally started doing some more research to try and figure out, and I realized that something about in the settings of the audio program that I was using to record my audio, the was like the hertz or something was like a different setting than what it is on the camera that I record on. And so then I realized what was going on. So I am hoping that when I go to edit this video and sync things up, it will go much smoother. So we'll see. You learn as you go. And if you sat through this whole video and made it to the end, if you want to leave a comment and let me know what you were stitching on, if you were stitching on something, I'd love to hear what you were working on. And you know, just even if you weren't working on something, thank you for being here and watching the video. I've noticed that during since my last video I did have a number of new subscribers, so welcome and thank you for being here. All right, well, I will see you in 2 weeks with some more stitching. Thanks for watching. Bye.